What's up, everyone? You're here with Goran from Pickdawgz, and you're here for your free picks for Tuesday, October 3rd, guys. After a week without the Champions League, it's back here with some interesting matchups going on Tuesday and Wednesday. So stay tuned for more free picks coming up to the Pickdawgz YouTube channel. Of course, hit that like button and make sure you subscribe to the Pickdawgz YouTube channel as well, guys. We do have a lot of picks on it, and there's a lot more to come, so stay tuned, guys. For my best bets, click the link in the description of this video. That will get you up to my page, and there you can sign up, get a daily pass, 3-day pass, 7-day pass, or even a month-long pass if that's something you want. We have another 8 games on Tuesday, guys. We have some 12 to 45 p.m. Eastern Time matchups and some 3 p.m. matchups as well. We are going to kick off this video with Copenhagen against Bayern Munich. As we can see, Bayern Munich is a pretty heavy favorite in this matchup, and they should be because despite Copenhagen playing decent football and being solid at home. They are coming off of a loss against Midtjylland 2-0. Not scoring a goal in that game was quite disappointing for Copenhagen, I gotta say, but they will have even harder game here against Bayern. Bayern Munich is coming off of a 2-2 draw against Leipzig, and defensively they're not that solid this season. I get it. They are conceding a lot of goals. The good news for them, I guess, is that they are scoring a lot more, and they now haven't lost any of their last 7 games. They are on a 7 game winning streak when playing on the road, and they are actually on a 3 game winning streak right now. So, uh, apart from that game against Leipzig, before that they were on a 3 game winning streak, that is. In the first game of the Champions League, they have beaten Manchester United 4-3, and I know that the result is telling us that it was a close game, but it really wasn't that close, and it easily could have been at least 6-7-3 for Bayern Munich. And I think that once again they will step up in this game and they will have another great match here. So I think that despite Copenhagen being solid team at home, I think that they will not have enough possession here to score a goal. I don't think they can create enough chances to get to the scoreboard. So it's a bit of a game prop here. I'm gonna take Bayern Munich to win to nil. It's even money right now, and I do like it a lot, guys. I honestly wouldn't be surprised to see a maybe 2-0, 3-0 game for Bayern Munich, maybe even more than that. So I'm taking Bayern Munich to win 2-0 at plus 100. Manchester United is hosting Galatasaray in the next matchup, and I think what's it gonna come to in this game is the fact if you have any faith in Manchester United's defense right now. I have zero, to be honest. They lost 1-0 to Crystal Palace in their last game in the EPL. Before that, they beat Crystal Palace 3-0 in the Carabao Cup, and they were able to beat Burnley 1-0. But this team is far from solid right now, especially in that defensive end. And even though they're creating a decent amount of chances, they're also struggling with scoring goals. They did get a win. Actually, they lost to Bayern Munich. What am I saying? In the round one, 4-3. But like I said a few minutes ago, it could have been a lot worse for them. And they will definitely try to step up in this game to get a win, and they might as well get it. But I don't think it's going to be by keeping a clean sheet because Galatasaray hasn't lost any of their last 7 games on the road. They haven't lost any of their last 14 games overall. They are on a 4 game winning streak when playing on the road. They're scoring a lot of goals. They're creating a lot of chances. And I think they will get to the scoreboard. So instead of choosing the sides, I'm going to go with both teams to score in this one, minus 148. I think this was clear as day, guys. Galatasaray is playing really, really well right now. Manchester United is not. And even though they might get a win out of this game, like I said, I don't think it's going to be by keeping a clean sheet here. So both teams to score for me in this one. Lens will be hosting Arsenal in the next matchup in the EPL. And I'm going to keep this one very, very simple, guys. Arsenal hasn't lost any of their last 11 games. They haven't lost any of the last 4 games on the road. As a matter of fact, they are on the 3 game winning streak when playing on the road. And Lens on the other side, they seem to be waking up. They are on a 2 game winning streak right now, but I think this is going to be all Arsenal here. So I'm not going to try to push it with goals or anything like that. I'm simply going to take Arsenal on the money line. The price is now minus 159. I think it's definitely worth a shot. Maybe even put it in a double with something else. But even as a single, minus 159 is not bad at all for Arsenal to get a win. So Lens against Arsenal, I'm taking Arsenal on the money line. PSV Eindhoven and Sevilla is the next matchup, guys, in the Champions League. And I think that we have PSV on one side, the team that's scoring a lot of goals. They have scored 10 goals in their last three games. They've kept a couple of clean sheets, but in round one of the Champions League, they ended up losing to Arsenal 4-0. And this is actually a, a must-win game for them, in my opinion, if they because I think that Sevilla is gonna be their main competitor in this Champions League group for that second place, and we'll see if they have what it takes to beat them here and to get to that second place and qualify for the knockouts. But Sevilla on the other side, they're not a bad team at all. They are coming off of a loss 1-0 against Barcelona, but that game was on a Friday, so they had plenty of time to rest. And I think that they are actually a pretty decent team. They once again just struggle at the start of the season. They can't get consistent. And like I said, these two teams will be the main competitors for that second place of this group. So I do expect a lot of chances on both sides. And for that reason, guys, I'm going to go with both teams to score in this one, minus 139. I think it's definitely worth a shot. And honestly, I can't imagine either side keeping a clean sheet here. So PSV against Sevilla, both teams to score. Union Berlin is hosting Braga in the next matchup. They are playing in Germany. And for some reason, Union Berlin is actually a pretty heavy favorite at minus 120. Now, do they deserve to be the favorites? Maybe because they're playing at home, but certainly not minus 120. I think that this is pretty generous from the books to make them such big favorites because Union Berlin is now on a five-game losing streak. And once again, they've lost in Bundesliga. They lost to Hoffenheim 1-0. And before that, they lost to Hoffenheim as well. No, sorry, they lost to Hoffenheim and then to Heidenheim. I have my letters mixed up. But Union Berlin hasn't scored a goal in any of the last three games. And now they have to face Braga, the team that has scored at least a goal in each of their last, what, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 games or so, 14 even. And the team that is on a two-game winning streak, during which they've scored 8 goals and conceded 3 goals. So I think that Union Berlin will need to have a hell of a game to get a win here at home. And I don't think that Braga will just let it go. So I think it's gonna be a fun game where both teams will go for the win because Braga definitely feels like they can get it because of Union Berlin's poor form here. But instead of the sides, once again, I'm gonna go to goals, guys, and I'm gonna go with both teams to score minus 115. I simply don't see Union Berlin going from conceding a lot of goals in their last 5 games to keeping a clean sheet here. So I don't see other option but to go with both teams to score, guys. So Union Berlin against Braga, both teams to score. Napoli and Real Madrid is the biggest game of the day in the Champions League, and I think it's gonna be a very fun one. We can see that the books are kind of trying to keep it neutral with plus 160 for either side, and they're not even leaning that much towards the goal because it's minus 143 for the over 2.5. And I think we have to take advantage of that. The last two games these two teams played ended up in a 3-1 win for Real Madrid. They are on a nice winning streak once again. They have scored 5 goals in their last two games. They have kept both of those clean sheets. And Napoli on the other side scored 8 goals in their last two games, and they have kept a few clean sheets over the last few weeks. They conceded only 1 goal in their last 3 games, and I think this is going to be a highly competitive match. I think that Real Madrid got a little bit lucky in that game against Union Berlin a couple of weeks ago, but they will need a lot more of it if they want to beat this Napoli team on the road. So both teams to score over 2.5 minus 107. Like I said, I think we have to take advantage of that price that the books are giving us on the over 2.5. And I think that both teams to score and over 2.5 is the way to go with this match. Red Bull Salzburg is playing against Real Sociedad in this next game, and I'm gonna go with my gut in this one. I honestly think this is a coin toss game, and it could go either way. It could go with over 2.5. It could end up in the under 2.5 because both teams are playing pretty well right now. Both teams are scoring a goal. a, a lot of goals, that is, but both teams are also conceding. And for that reason, I decided to take Red Bull Salzburg on the money line at plus 190 here. I just have a feeling that at home they will be a very, very hard team to beat in the Champions League. We know that they are the best team in Austria, and despite Sociedad being in such a solid form right now, they barely got a draw against Inter in round one, even though Inter got a red card. And once again, they will have a very hard time beating around this Red Bull Salzburg team on the road. So it's a bit of a risky bet, I know, but I just have a feeling that Salzburg is going to come out on top of this one. And plus 190 is definitely a great price to take. So I'm taking Red Bull Salzburg on the money line. And the last game of the day, the Champions League, guys, is between Inter Milan and Benfica. Now, like I said, Inter got a red card in that game against. They got a red card against Salzburg a couple of weeks ago. Actually, Sociedad a couple of weeks ago. That game ended in a 1-1 draw. But they're coming off of a nice 4-0 win against Salernitana, and Lautaro Martinez had an excellent game. He scored all four goals. They seem to be back on track, but I don't think that their defensive problems are just going to go away, especially against a team like Benfica. Sure, Benfica doesn't have a lot of success against Inter Milan. As a matter of fact, they have never beaten them in the past, going back to 2004. But Benfica is coming off of a huge win against Porto. They ended that game 1-0. Before that, they have scored three goals against Portimonense. They have scored two goals against Vizela on the road, four goals against Guimarães, and they definitely could use a positive result here after losing to Salzburg at home in round one of the Champions League here. Uh, am I leaning towards Inter Milan? I am, especially because they're playing at home. But I also think that Benfica has enough quality to get to the scoreboard here. So this is gonna be another game where I want to go with both teams to score, and that's minus 129. I think that should be an exciting game. Whoever gets the win here, I don't think it's gonna be by keeping clean sheet here. So Inter against Benfica, both teams to score for me, and that's at minus 129. That's it, everyone. This is the Champions League for Tuesday. Eight games, eight free picks. Thank you for joining me here, guys. On Wednesday, we have another eight games, and we have a pretty big slate of the MLS as well. So stay tuned for that, guys. Subscribe to the Pickdawgz YouTube channel, hit that like button, and I'll see you soon with more free picks.